Hello and good day, January 8th. This is segment 2 with the Revoked Civil Servant. I'm Philip Branton. Appreciate you tuning in here. The second segment, now, well, let me go back to the first just for a second here. I used the word Westvaco in the first segment, you'll notice, in describing certain activity with respect to Fairfield County. I didn't really do that on mistake. It's kind of like situational irony. Especially how Westvaco ties in with this next article here in its property history throughout the Charleston region. But on the previous example with respect to Credit Suisse, I want you to also consider, instead of Westvaco, it's Westinghouse and its reach within Africa with respect to some of the construction projects that are have been and are being planned with respect to nuclear power plants. If they can't build them here in Fairfield County, are we going to let them allow them to build them over in Africa? If they can't finish one here, I mean, are we going to tell those citizens over there, hey? So basically, it's another highly susceptible version of organized theft. So, segment 2, which I'll link to here, Lennar Mortgage Company loaned to unqualified buyers and deceived feds, lawsuit alleges. Now, I linked to this article specifically for those of you here in the state of South Carolina. It has other ripple effects across other states. Okay. This article comes out of, I think, TampaBay.com, the Tampa Bay area. But home builder giant Lennar Corp and its Clearwater-based mortgage subsidiary made loans to unqualified buyers and violated federal laws, a former employee alleges. In a lawsuit filed in Pinellas County, Wanda Burling says she repeatedly complained to a vice president at Eagle Home Mortgage about the company's lending practices, only to be warned to let it go if she wanted to keep her job. Kind of sounds real familiar to me. Chris, hey, shut up. No, you're getting bad data. Yeah. The same executive also said that given a choice between Burling and loan originators who may or may not follow the rules, Eagle would always choose the originators as the producers for the company. So, like I said, I'm going to link this article. You can read it yourself. So why does it matter to you? I'm in the state of South Carolina. Why do I care? I've already got my mortgage. Why do I care about what's happening down here? Where there's smoke, there's fire. The Charleston region alone, but really all three regions, Low Country, Midlands, and the Piedmont area of South Carolina, because of its strategic location between New York and Florida, between Charleston Port, Savannah Port, and the trifecta between Atlanta, Greenville, and Charlotte. With trucking, moving goods, import-export. The same deals with respect to how our local cities and counties are agreeing to these big, huge home developers because of the breakup of Westvaco land, huge land tracts, and how those mortgages are being scrutinized before approval. Okay. So what it offers is for you to consider. Now, wait a second. Because where there's smoke, there's fire. The timing of this article. Lennar is not the only one. Now, Wanda Burling. Also, it's a case study in what not to do. Now, a lot of people are going to say, well, Chris, it's a case study in what you shouldn't be doing either. Slightly different. Her information is not transparent. Mine is totally open source and non-strategic. Non-strategic. I'm talking about what's in this hand. I'm not really. Well, actually, I'm talking about what's in this hand, and I'm not talking about what's in this hand, because I'm compartmentalized information. Okay. So my history, saying, hey, look here, hey, what's happening? Hey, nobody's standing up. Hey, boss man, your data's being manipulated. We don't care. We don't care in Mozambique. To tie my first segment back into this one. And how analysts, okay, when Google, Credit Suisse, South State Bank, AT&T, you name any corporation, Amazon, when they have instant access to overarching information, faster, more transparent than what SLED or our representatives are actually on purpose shielding, huge problems. It just is. Okay. Now, Lennar is Miami based. We have a number of home builders, not only external to Charleston, but based right here in Charleston. Wanda Burling, okay, she stood up. She said, hey, you're not following procedures here. Well, how did she use the Tampa Bay comment section and her own social media so that jurors could follow her along as the trial started? Basically, that's what I've done. Basically go back in from 2007, 2008, read my mind, my bias. It's no different than what yours is. So, as far as value to you, the lights again. That must be a signal I need to wrap up on this second segment. So I want to offer this for you to consider. Think about the development. Just log into your local newspaper on the web portal and just type in on searches just to see how many articles come back over the last year or about developer approval. Lennar. Now, this home builder How many homes have they built that actually produce more energy than they consume? Because this is where all this is going. And that's a lot of what where the avalanche is, because it can change overnight. Okay? Overnight. By certain changes in the building codes. But nobody knows enough if they run for office, because once you get on city council, it takes a majority to vote in any new type of, and then once you get on there, well, you got 3 people want to do it. Well, 5 don't. Okay. Because that goes, basically ties right back into Lennar, its huge subdivisions, and the electric company who's providing gas and electricity. So now think Mozambique. All that infrastructure in Africa that we taxpayers are funding. Okay? Is there infrastructure? Are they going in for centralized electricity or decentralized? See, that's the strategy, the strategic posture. Basically, they're being re-enslaved. Oh yeah, we'll provide you electricity. It's kind of like when we went into Iraq and Afghanistan. Yeah. All right, they got a lot of sunshine there. Now having them produce their own, no, Well, we're going to be spending all this money to rebuild it. We can't let troops see what we're doing to win the hearts and minds in Iraq and Afghanistan when they got to come home and pay an electric bill, and they don't even realize that, they should be producing, because the building codes haven't changed. So this is where all this is going. Does this article tell you that? Your local news? No. Newspaper? Here in the state of South Carolina? Okay. Where I work, Speyward Atlantic, big sign, you walk in the door, we are information dominance. If you don't say nothing, how people are going to know? Okay. So that wraps up segment 2. I may do a segment 3 later on this evening. I'll take a look at what President Trump says at his 9 o'clock, chat from the wall area down there, I guess in Texas or California. And I'm going to make a 3rd segment update. But consider it. I try to provide articles not only for you to think about, but to have a topic of conversation with your friends that's just a little different. I grew up watching Charles Kuralt, Walter Cronkite. And I thought Charles Kuralt, and the way he was just folksy, was so much better. Yeah, he didn't really discuss, the most important news of the day. But it's the topics that he wanted you to think about, and they were, at least in my case, much more useful and some of the school projects that I had to do. That sounds like a pretty good topic Charles is talking about. Go to my encyclopedia, go to the library, look it up. Well, hey, you know, Charles is right about this. Why didn't he mention these three things? Okay. So, hope your day's going well. And I'll try to see you on the flip side, hopefully in segment 3 later on this evening, once I kind of chew on what President Trump's going to say. Anyway, see you on the flip side. Thanks, and have a great day.